The thing about being a neat is there's tragedy. There's tragedy in your voice, and there's tragedy in your heart. And being a neat, it encompasses a road of if you have a conscience, then if you have a conscience, then you're gonna feel like you're a burden to your parents and your family and your friends and all that stuff. And this burden feeling will make you want to die. And that's just the way it is. And I don't know if this is how all needs feel or some needs feel, but there's a lot of guilt associated with it. Like, oh, I should be working or I should be doing something, but I'm not doing anything. And, and so you just end up feeling really guilty. And it's just an all encompassing feeling. It's like you're being swallowed whole by an ocean of guilt. Swallowed whole by an ocean of dread. Not Judge Dredd. The. And, so, normies think that being a neat is easy, but actually, it is easy, except for the feelings of guilt associated with it. But that's really the big downsides. And of course, you have to be, most neets are single. That's a statistic I just created in my own head. So you have to be ready to be single, and you have to be ready to be guilty if you want to be a neat. And these are just neat tips and tricks. And I have a lot of dreams, and dreams are really the best part of my day. The best part of my life is my dreams, because I have a I have fun in my dreams. I have a fun time in my dreams, and I have a good time in my dreams, and just my dreams are just fun, and that's how dreams should be. And they're just nothing like your waking life, or your whole waking life is so boring and pathetic and scared of everything. And then you have these dreams that are the opposite of that, and that are really cool and really exciting, really sexual, really fun, really just everything. Everything in these dreams. And I have been sleeping more, but it's and my sleep schedule is getting messed up. As usual, I'm just going to sleep at 2, 3 a.m. or whatever, and really just looking forward to going back to sleep. Even if I go to sleep early, I still sleep for like 12 hours, and I'm still ready to go sleep, and I'm ready to go have some dreams. I'm excited to have some dreams. I'm excited to go to sleep. Sleep time is a fun time, in my opinion. And I don't think normal people realize just how cool dreams are. And I don't get why they get out of bed to stop their dreams when they could stay in bed and just dream some more. And that's what I ended up doing. And that is something that I ended up doing. And it's kind of like, it feels like a magic spell, doesn't it? It feels like you're under a hypnotic magic spell when you're dreaming. That's what it feels like. Feels like you're under a hypnotic spell. And it feels good. You know, we produce chemicals when we're asleep that make us feel good and feel horny and feel fun. I'm just making that up, but maybe that's probably true. We do probably release chemicals and stuff. You can look that up on jersdictionary.com and you'll see what I'm saying is the truth. And it helps to have an overactive imagination when it comes to dreams, because you can dream whatever you want. And according to scientists, dreams are dreams are alternate realities that are actually happening within our reality. So when you dream that you're flying on a pterodactyl's cock in some weird dimension, you actually are flying on some pterodactyl's cock. And because scientists have pointed out that dreams are a different form of reality, but they are real. And so that's just something to think about next time you're dreaming. And it's important to always have more fun in your dreams than you do in real life, because real life sucks. And so it's more important to have fun in your dreams and to realize you're in a dream, and to what is it called, astral projection, where you project with your ass. Astral projection is where you take your soul out of your body and you take it for a spin, like you'd take for a spin a new car, for example, from the car dealership, except you're using your own soul and not a car. And people astral project because it's a different form of a sort of a gay dream. And people forget how much fun they have in dreams until I remind them. Otherwise, they forget their own damn name if I didn't remind them to have fun in their dreams, and to treat dreams like they're special, and to never forget that dreams are cool. And people forget that dreams are real, and that dreams are facts and not just fiction. And sometimes dreams are our wildest desires personified. Psychoanalysis is a type of therapy that Freud developed in the 1900s. And psychoanalysis is doing therapy to someone using their own dreams, and making bold assertions on their dreams about what they're going through and why they're having problems in their day-to-day life. And and so, and according to my dreams, I've been having dreams where I'm swimming, because I like to swim, and I haven't been able to swim since the virus hit. And so now I'm having dreams where I'm swimming because my body is aching for the version of reality before it turned into hell, which is what happened with the fake virus. Our reality transferred from normal reality into hell reality, where people can no longer swim. And so that is currently what's happening in the world. I think swimming pools have something to do with this. I think there's conspiracy theories going on about why people won't be in swimming pools, because it caught the chlorine The chlorine causes people to have Down syndrome and all these things, and tiny cocks and stuff. And chlorine is a powerful substance. It smells, I love the smell of chlorine, and I also love the way it burns on your skin. I love the taste of chlorine in my mouth hole, and I love the taste of chlorine through my nasal holes. And overall, I just love the sweet, sweet smell and nectar smell of chlorine. And it brings back wonderful, wonderful childhood. Here's a fun fact about old Jer. When I was a kid, I was allergic to chlorine. I would break out in hives if I even tried to stomach this stuff. But when I was about, 11 or around that age where you're growing your penis for the first time, chlorine started treating me as an equal and not as an enemy. And that was when me and chlorine started having an affair with my body. And I loved chlorine, always will. And it just feels good on the skin, the burn. And can't describe it. You can't explain that either. You can't explain that. And and sometimes I have dreams where I'm in this big pool of chlorine and I'm just floating. I mean, sorry, this dream hasn't happened yet, but it will, and I'm just waiting for the day that it does happen. I hope that makes sense to your tiny pea-sized brains out there. But this is a lot of information to digest. So don't blame me if something goes terribly wrong when your brain starts soaking up information like a soup sponge and you end up with too much damn information in your head. And then something happens. Something happens out there. You got to be ready. You got to be ready for the apocalypse and stuff because the apocalypse is ready for you. And if you're not ready for it, then I don't know what the hell you're doing. So, for example, right now I'm just like fucking around, drawing a picture and stuff. But what about tomorrow? Am I going to be ready to face my deepest fears? Am I going to be ready to beat some stupid kids at basketball? Am I going to be ready to fuck the world with my own balls? Am I going to be ready to, like Michael Jordan did with his balls? But he was a basketball player, and I'm not allowed near basketballs anymore because I pop them. You understand? I pop the basketballs, and they don't want to fuck with me anymore. So what's the deal with airline food anyways? Has anybody ever finished that riddle yet? Has anybody solved the riddle behind the basketball riddle yet? Has anybody figured that one out yet? Is anybody close to even figuring out the riddle of the basketball? Fuck basketball idiots, God. Airline food, I'll tell you since nobody else will tell you, I'll tell you what the deal is with airline food, right? Everybody's always asking me in the comments, what's the deal with airline food? I'll tell you. It's free. Everything in life is free, but it comes with a catch. It's just shitty peanuts, and the peanuts taste like shit. And that's the catch of airline food. You think it's going to be tasty because it's free? Game over. It's not tasty. And it's not free because you paid for your airline ticket. So it's not free. It's not tasty either because it's just shitty peanuts. And that's what Jerry Seinfeld was really asking when he asked his age-old famous question, "What's the deal with airline food?" You know what I mean? And that's really what it comes down to. And they're not going to tell you that in your history books. They're not going to tell you that in your history books. They're not going to tell you that in your cum. Only you're going to hear about only that on the Nighttime Neptune Neat podcast. That's the only place you're going to find out the truth. And stop living in a lie. And so yeah. So that's pretty cool. So that's pretty cool. So that's pretty cool. So that's pretty cool. What do you guys think about Indiana Jones? Do you think it was worth it getting all those crystal skulls? Or do you think he fucked up and he should have just, after the first crystal skull, just, just called it quits? But he didn't, did he? Indiana Jones didn't quit because he was a badass. And that's why he didn't quit. Makes you wonder, though, how many licks does it take to get to the bottom of a Tootsie Pop? 1, 2, 3. Right? The age-old question that's never been answered and never will be. It's like the riddle of the Sphinx, right? The riddle of the Sphinx is whoever figures out the riddle of the Sphinx will become the next great ruler of the earth. And so far, no man or woman or dog has ever figured out the riddle of the Sphinx. And that's because the world is rigged. And only the strong survive and the weak all die because the weak are neets. And the weak will die because they don't know how to work and they don't know how to fuck and they don't know how to you know what I mean? And so what should I draw? What do you guys like? What do you guys like when it comes to drawing stuff? Do you guys like fluffy clouds or do you guys like monsters? Because I like to draw monsters. I like to draw weird monster thingies. And I like to make scary art. I like to make it look scary, like a monster with fucking fang teeth and blood coming out of its eyeballs. And I like to have its jaw dripping with sweat. And I like to have its mouth open like it's gonna eat whoever looks at it. And I had this dream last night that I was in the swimming pool. This is gonna sound silly, right? And I was in high school again. I'm always having dreams where I'm back in high school. Don't ask why. Don't ask, don't tell, right? And the football team was having football practice at around the pool of the high school, and I was messing around, right? And I was messing around, and then before I knew it, I was in the middle of the pool, and everybody was watching me, and they were doing football practice, and they had a lifeguard, and And this lifeguard blew on her whistle and she said, "Everybody wait. There's a man in the pool." And the man was me. And I'm sure I looked like a huge doofus in front of everybody as I was swimming out of the pool because everybody was trying to have football practice around the pool. And I was interrupting everybody's practice with my swimming. You know what I mean? And so I swim myself out of this pool, and I see this cheerleader that I remember from high school, and I get a good look at her, and I'm thinking, whoa, I remember this person from high school. And then I wake up, and and that's it. And sometimes I lay awake at night and I toss and turn and I think about what I did today, and there's nothing. I didn't do anything of value. Every day is exactly the same as the last day, right? It's just very minor variations. And it's just like Light Yagami from Kira, right? Or Ryuk, the Shinigami from Kira. They're both extremely bored in the beginning of the series, and that's why Ryuk throws his Death Note down to Earth because he's bored, and that's why Light picks it up because he's also bored. And so you look at these main protagonists, and they're driven by is boredom, right? And I'm in the same boat because I'm kind of bored, and because life's kind of boring sometimes, and especially if you're and it's I'll tell you why it's boring too. It's because I don't go outside much, and so if you stay inside too much, then you're gonna get bored. But if you go outside, then what's waiting for you is danger, right? What's waiting for you outside is danger, and it makes sense that it makes sense for neets to stay inside all the time because they're afraid of everything. That's why I became a neet. People ask, why did you're so good looking, you've got everything going for you, why did you become a neet? And I tell them, because out of fear. And I had this one baby boomer call me out on this last year, I think, or 2 year or last year, and he said, "You know what your biggest problem is?" And I didn't say anything because I wasn't even looking this guy in the eyes. And he said, "Your biggest problem, Jer, is fear." And then he said, "Look me in the eyes when I'm talking to you, boy." So I look him in the eyes, and he's like, "That's your biggest problem is fear, and you don't need all these psychiatric medications or anything. You just gotta stop being afraid of all this stuff. That's how you're gonna. That's that's your biggest problem right there." And this random baby boomer was probably right about all this stuff. And yeah, and this random baby boomer was probably right about all this stuff. And so how did this boomer who doesn't even know me, how was he able to figure out my biggest problem unless he was somehow told by unless this baby boomer was somehow told by the gods or the alien gods or whoever's up there. Because I have another weird story about this baby boomer, right, that I want to share. That I was going to leave this house forever, and I didn't tell anybody. And this boomer, this same boomer, he comes up to me and he said, "What, you weren't going to tell me?" And I said, and I said, "What?" And he said, "You weren't going to tell me that you're leaving?" And I'm thinking, wait, how did this guy know I was leaving? I haven't told anybody that I'm leaving forever. And I apologized to him. I said, "Yeah, sorry. I just gotta go." No offense to that guy, but I just had to get out of that I had to get out of that that place. And so I did. And then that's when he told me that I was afraid of everything, and I was afraid to stay in the house, and I was afraid to do all this stuff. Maybe he was right, maybe he was wrong, I don't know, but it just makes you wonder, how predictable am I as a human being? How much do people know about me from just listening to my voice? How much can people fathom about my real world situation? How much can they read my mind from just my voice, from just my personality? How well are these people able to read me? How much of myself am I giving away? Am I giving away too much of myself to the planet and not being greedy and keeping enough of myself for myself? Because it's important. You don't give your whole self away to the planet, because then you'll have nothing left for yourself if you give everyone else your planet's energy. If you give everyone else your planet's energy, you're going to have nothing else left for yourself. Dumb idiot. And so that's why you have to keep stuff to yourself and be greedy once in a while, because that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. And I've been drawing on GIMP today. And I've been a trader to GIMP for a while now. It's a drawing program, in case you guys aren't aware. I've been kind of a trader to GIMP lately because I've been drawing on Krita, which is another fun drawing program. And don't get anything wrong, I have no talent for drawing or anything like that, but it's still kind of fun to just draw stuff sometimes, Just see where it takes you through your own self-conscious, see what's going on, and through your own conscious, see, are you meditating right now? What are you doing in your chair right now? Are you meditating? Are you conscious of what's going on? Are you trying to change your mental state? Are you Are you happy where you are right now? Are you pleased? Are you upset about something and you're not facing what you're upset about? Or what's going on with you in your own heart, in your own life? What's the real deal behind everything? Because we even ourselves, we hide ourselves away from ourselves sometimes. We hide ourselves away from ourselves, and because we don't even want to know what we're thinking in our own heads sometimes. Sometimes we're ashamed of what we're thinking in our own heads, right? And so we hide it from everyone, including ourselves. And we just want to disappear. We just want to disappear. Sometimes we forget who we really are, too. Sometimes we think we're someone we're not. Sometimes we think we're a freak when actually we're really a fucking cool person. You know what I mean? Sometimes we think stuff like that. When sometimes we think we're a superhero. Sometimes we think we're a superhero when sometimes we're a super zero. You know what I mean? And like I said earlier, every day is so similar. It's just an abyss of void of days. You throw a million pennies inside of a well and you wish for something to happen, but your penny just sinks to the bottom of the well and nothing happens. Every time you throw a penny into the well, nothing happens, and it was just a pointless thing to throw your pennies into the well in the first place. And now you threw in pennies into the well hoping that something would change, and all that happened was you just lost a bunch of money that you could have used on something else. And so now you're just as desperate, except now you don't have any more pennies. Now you don't have any pennies. So now you're really fucked because you don't have any pennies. And now when people say penny for your thoughts, you won't even have anything to pay them with because you can't, because you don't, because you're out of pennies. You know what I mean? So sometimes when we touch, it's honestly too much. And I wish that I never touched you at all. That's how that song should go, right? Because sometimes we regret interacting with other people. Because in the end, it just brings us disappointment. Other people, all the other people are good for is bringing you is disappointment, right? We always put so much faith in other people, thinking that this person will bring me so much happiness or joy or whatever, when really all that person can give you is disappointment, because they're not going to live up to your expectations. No matter what, they're not going to live up to your expectations, because your expectations are too high for anyone, including yourself. That's just how it is with everybody. So all people bring you is just crushed expectations. And all people bring you is crushed expectations. And on that note, I have been watching Full Metal Alchemist for the first time. And it's quite good. I have to recommend it to anyone out there listening to this, because it is quite a good series, and I am thoroughly enjoying it. Almost at the end of it now. Almost at the end of it. Very, very close to the end. But not quite at the end yet. But still got a little bit to go. But it's quite good. And I was expecting it to be... I always just thought of the show would be dumb and lame, but it actually turns out the show's actually quite good. So I'm pleasantly surprised at how this show turned out. So that's cool. Sometimes when I draw stuff, it just ends up looking like a fetus. What's up with that? Anybody want to explain that to me? I don't know either, dude. Yeah. I know this podcast went in a different direction than our last one. They're all going to be different. They're just different variations of my soul. And that's why they're all going to look a bit different from each other. But in the end, all the podcasts that I do will combine themselves, and they'll form an understandable picture of the mind of someone who couldn't be understood by the world, etc., etc. And so that's why people will look on these podcasts and they'll be like, that didn't make sense. That was dumb. What's this guy talking about? When actually, if you look at the podcasts all together, they combine to show somebody's destiny, somebody's fate. This is the work that people do, not for themselves, but so that they can be understood by others in a really gay sort of way. And sorry, I'm just distracted. I just felt like drawing stuff today, so in the video I'm gonna put the drawings that I did, and they're all shit. I wish I could draw something that didn't look like shit, basically. I take that back. I wish I could do any task at a decently medium high level and enjoy what I'm doing and know what I'm doing and be good at what I'm doing. Literally any task. It could be cooking, it could be fucking organizing centipedes. It could be anything. I just want to be decently good at one task in my whole life so that people could say, "Oh, that looks pretty good, I guess." But it was not in my cards to be talented, so all I can do are these stupid fucking drawings that suck, and fucking sixth graders fucking sixth graders at the art fair, at the regional art fair, have better fucking drawings than this shit, and they're just stupid fucks. And it's not fair, the world's not fair, etc., etc. Complain, whine. The world's not fair, woe is me, poor is me. I could go on and on, but I won't. I'll try to spare you the details. But to be really good at art, people have to have talent for it. They have to have a knack for it. They have to enjoy practicing it all the time. Same with guitar. People have to enjoy practicing. I've been practicing guitar a lot lately. Still not good at all or whatever, but there's no hope for anything I do to be good at anything, unfortunately. I've tried just about everything you can think of, and it just nothing clicks with this IQ here. Nothing fits the bill. Nothing nothing works out right the way I want it to work out. And then that's how we ended up where we are today. And that's why we are still here where we are today with no progression whatsoever. And why we've been stagnant for years and years and years. Going not up, probably down, but definitely not up. Going nowhere fast. If you could go nowhere fast, I'd get there at the speed of light, right? I think that's how fast I'd get to nowhere if I'm not there already. If nowhere was a place, you understand? Yeah, come in.
You want to go to Baskin Robbins real fast? I have to go on halftime.
Yeah.
Okay, come on.
All right.
Go.
Well, that's my cue to go. It's been nice talking to all you guys, but guess I better go get some ice cream with my parents. See you later.